Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world or whatever time you'll be watching this video. Now, guys, there is some breaking news coming out of Virginia today that I just wanted to bring it to you guys. All right, now the story centers on Justin Fairfax, who is a former U.S. politician who served as Virginia's lieutenant governor from 2018 to 2022. Now, let's discuss what happened. On April 16, 2026, Fairfax and his estranged wife, Serena Fairfax, were found dead inside their home in Annandale, Virginia. Now, authorities have determined that it was a murder-suicide. This is where Fairfax shot and killed his wife, and then he took his own life with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now listen to some of the disturbing details, guys. Their two teenage children were inside the home at the time. Their son, who is the older of the two kids, was the one who made the 911 call reporting what he had seen. In the early reports, he described seeing injuries and his mother laying on the ground. Initially, he wasn't sure of what had happened. Now, this detail has shocked the public because it means that the children were not just nearby, they were directly exposed to the immediate aftermath of the violence. Now, everyone is wondering what may have led to it, and investigators are focusing on domestic conflict tied to a divorce. And as I said, that they were separated. So they were separated, but they were living in the same home. And the divorce has been described as messy and ongoing. And Fairfax had recently been served some court papers which possibly escalated the tensions. And I know that they were to have a court date on the 21st of April. Now, there has also been a prior police-related incident earlier in 2026. However, there were no charges filed. And this is where Fairfax had made a report to the police that his wife had attacked him. But little did he know that during this divorce proceedings, the wife had installed cameras inside the home. So when the police went and checked back on those cameras, they realized that nothing had happened and that Fairfax had lied. Now, let us look briefly at who they were. Now, Justin Fairfax, he was a former lieutenant governor of Virginia, and he was once considered a rising political figure. He previously faced sexual assault allegations in 2019, of which he denied. Now, his wife, Serena Fairfax, she was a dentist and a business owner, so she owned her own practice. So the current status is that police say that the incident, it was contained within the home. No broader public threat is there. So the focus is now on supporting the children and understanding what exactly had triggered the violence. Now, authorities and advocates are also highlighting the importance of domestic awareness and support resources. Now, honestly, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. This story really shook me because when I first saw the headline about Justin Fairfax, I thought, oh, okay, another political tragedy. Maybe something complicated, maybe something we've seen before. But then I read one line, the children were home, and everything changed. Now imagine this for a second. You're a teenager, you're in your house with your parents. It's supposed to be the safest place in your life, and suddenly something goes horribly wrong. Not outside, not somewhere far away, but right there inside your home. Now, according to reports, this wasn't just a distant incident. Okay, their son actually had to call 911, and he's trying to process what he's seeing, trying to explain it to a dispatcher, trying to understand something that no child should ever have to understand. And I keep thinking, how do you come back from that? Now let us look at the bigger picture here, because this didn't happen out of nowhere. Again, we're hearing about a messy divorce, a couple still living under the same roof, legal pressure building, past domestic tensions, and this is where things also get uncomfortable, because how many times have we heard, oh, they were going through a divorce, and we move on. But behind that phrase, there's often stress, anger, control, fear, emotional breakdowns, and sometimes, tragically, it escalates. And what hits me is that this wasn't just the end of two lives. This was a complete collapse of a family in real time, with the children right there in the middle of it. And we have to ask ourselves, how often do we miss the warning signs? Because they were indicators. There was prior police involvement, the legal disputes, the ongoing domestic conflict. Nothing illegal confirmed, but clearly something wasn't right. And again, I've stated this before in another video. You know, us ladies, we have to channel our sixth sense. We have to use our sixth sense and believe it, trust in it. Because here's another uncomfortable truth. We often think that status, education, or success protects people from situations like these. But it doesn't. Look at what recently happened in Jamaica. Now, in this case, this was a former high-ranking politician, a professional and successful family, a seemingly stable household from the outside. And yet behind closed doors, everything was unraveling. I also can't ignore the emotional weight of those kids. Because while headlines will move on, they won't. They're going to have to carry that night, that phone call, those images, those sounds for the rest of their lives. So let me ask you this, guys. Do you think society takes domestic conflict during divorce seriously enough? Should there be stronger interventions when police are called to homes, even if no charges are filed? And most importantly, how do we better protect children caught in the middle of adult breakdowns like this? This story isn't just about what happened. It's about what led up to it and what happens next for the people left behind. And guys, honestly, I am seeing a lot of situations that's happening now in social media that you can tell it is going to take a different turn. There are some popular people in social media that they are going through a divorce or have gone through divorce, and I can see stuff like this happening to them. But if these people aren't wise, if they don't wise up, if they don't open their eyes, lots more are going to fall in this trap. Thank you for listening, guys. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more information and news just like these. Thank you, and catch you on the next one.